morning, I'm Joe Collins, and welcome to Newswatch, your source for news impacting southeastern Ohio. More details have been released after an officer fatally shot a man yesterday morning in Cleveland. The city released body camera footage and frame grabs of the footage last night. The video shows 25-year-old Inez Lee Jr. with a gun in his hand that he had allegedly taken from his waistband. Police originally responded to a disturbance complaint in the area around 4 in the morning. According to authorities, an officer shot Lee Jr. after a short chase several hours later. Lee Jr. was the suspect of a homicide. The officer's name has not yet been released to the public. The family of Tamir Rice is asking the Justice Department to reopen the investigation into his death. The 12-year-old was shot and killed in 2014 by then Cleveland police officer Timothy Lohman. Authorities say Rice was playing with a black toy airsoft pistol outside a recreational center. The officer mistook it for a real firearm. The Rice family sent a letter to Attorney General Merrick Garland asking for a grand jury to consider charges against the officers involved. The Justice Department has not commented. Rice's death at the hand of a white police officer helped fuel the Black Lives Matter movement.
I am forecaster Cole Borden, and currently in Athens it is 56 degrees and mostly cloudy and chilly. Today we saw sun trying to peek through the clouds, but it wasn't having much success, and it just became more cloudy and cloudy with the winds coming from the west at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And around the area, we saw Ironton at 59 and Ripley at 59 and Athens at 56 in the middle. Most of the area was in that mid to high 50s today, as 53 in New Martinsville as the cold spot. And in your headlines for today, the next few days, it's gonna be colder than we've been getting, because last week it was 70s and 80s. This week only 50s and 60s. Weekend showers are possible. There could be a passing shower, and maybe an even harsher temperature dip that might bring some snow. Back to you.
A scary find in an Akron park Tuesday. A woman on a walk found a bag. Inside, 2 improvised explosive devices. Bob Jones explains what happened.
A woman walking near railroad tracks just off the Summit Metro Park's Freedom Trail found a bag. Thinking it was trash, she picked it up. But inside she found 2 improvised explosive devices wrapped in plumbing and called 911.
It's got BBs all over it, and it's got a wick sticking out of it. I'm like, oh, hell no. This will kill somebody.
The Summit County Bomb Squad responded and determined the IEDs were functioning. The squad took the devices to a bunker, and no one was hurt.
If it's a functioning device, obviously it could cause serious injury or even death.
News of the bombs close to a park where children play and several homes startled both residents and people who regularly use the trail.
Children play around here, for one thing. I mean, how about if they took it home, right?
It's crazy. This world's nuts. Everything's going on, you know. I mean, I don't know why anybody, especially around here, would make something like that.
At this point, Akron police and the bomb squad are not saying what the explosive devices were made out of or releasing pictures of them, because they say they don't want to give anyone ideas on how to make something that could hurt someone. But the bomb squad confirms shrapnel was attached to the IEDs.
If it's got shrapnel on it, generally the intent of shrapnel is to harm someone. It can be a very crude or very rudimentary device, and it could kill somebody.
Last Friday, a resident found what he thought was an explosive device near railroad tracks off Goodyear Boulevard in Akron, but that turned out to be a hoax.
But again, was it put there made to look like or to raise that level of caution or fear?
For now, the focus is on figuring out who built the bombs and then left them near the trail. The FBI and ATF have also been notified.
We want the public to be safe always. Certainly this did create, a safety concern for the folks in the immediate area.
And tonight, a warning to anyone who finds what looks like a suspicious device.
Do not try to move these. Do not try to take care of them yourself. Just leave them where they are and contact the authorities.
Investigators are still trying to figure out who left the bag in the park. Almost 100 people were arrested in Columbus and its surrounding communities in the last 2 days. A human trafficking sting yesterday and the day before led to the 93 arrests at Central Ohio hotels. According to the Ohio Attorney General's office, the sting also resulted in some people being tried with a new law that took effect Monday. That law charges people who are soliciting sex with engaging in prostitution. A Kentucky inspector general reported that 19 Kentucky state workers received more than $54,000 of state and federal unemployment aid. The workers used their access to the UI systems to detect the existence of a full-time job. They removed stops on claims and manipulated claims of coworkers, family, or friends to obtain payments. Governor Andy Beshear said Thursday he ordered an investigation and several employees have been fired. Last year, Kentucky's UI system received a record amount of claims for jobless assistance due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear has filed a lawsuit claiming that Republican-backed laws aim to limit his authority to the response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Kentucky's Supreme Court has argued to take up the Democratic challenge. The new laws curbing his executive powers were temporarily blocked by Franklin County Circuit Judge Philip Shepard. The Chief Justice John D. Minton said that the review will be expedited to also include a second pandemic-related case at the same time. The courts will hear arguments on both cases on June 10th. This lawsuit comes after protesters made their voices heard outside the Kentucky state capitol Wednesday. Demonstrators gathered in reaction to Governor Andrew Beshear's decision not to lift COVID-19 restrictions in the state. The governor said he's waiting until 2.5 million people in the state have been vaccinated. That means about 900,000 more will have to get the shot. Protesters likened the statement to a vaccine mandate. Protester organizers say that it is pretty much a vaccine mandate.
Because of government overreach from them. He thinks he can give us our freedoms. Our freedoms are inalienable. And he can't say, if you get this, you can have your freedoms back. There are freedoms. And he swore an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of Kentucky and the United States, and he's in total violation of it.
The governor's office released this statement about the protest, which says in part, to end this pandemic, a majority of Kentuckians and Americans need to receive one of the safe, effective vaccines. Governor Beshear is encouraging more Kentuckians to get a life-saving vaccine so that we can safely and quickly lift many restrictions and finally defeat COVID, which has already killed more than 6,200 Kentuckians. Organizers plan another protest on Sunday. West Virginia governor is asking the U.S. government for more vaccine doses, and 8 people are dead after the biggest mass shooting since last month at a FedEx facility. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
Coral reefs, beautiful and vulnerable.
It was like a graveyard.
But can science make them stronger?
Can we help them? Can we accelerate natural selection?
We are growing corals to be more resilient.
More climate ready, more climate tolerant.
We can make choices to help our coral reefs to bring them back to life.
Reef Rescue on Nova.
This month in Passport on the PBS Video app, your on-demand library for the best of PBS.
Europe is on fire, Franklin.
Nature is so resilient, and I think that's what inspires me.
It is pretty amazing.
The Black Church has sustained the African-American people from slavery to this day.
We are a testament to the goodness and the grace of God.
These and other shows are available with Passport on the PBS Video app. Download it today.
On Masterpiece.
It was a beautiful day in our life. Everything changed that day.
Hitler wants to make a move northward.
No way. You want to fight the Nazis, but you're telling the Americans you won't.
It's politics.
Europe is on fire, Franklin.
Atlantic Crossing on Masterpiece. Stream now with PBS Passport.
Hawaii, a realm of breathtaking beauty. But don't let the scenic calm fool you. Every day in these blue waters, battles unfold. Because this is shark paradise. No matter their size, Hawaii has what these predators need. And this island chain may become home to the biggest shark yet.
An investigation continues after Indianapolis police say at least 8 people are dead after a shooting at a FedEx facility. The shooter is confirmed to be dead as well. Daryl Forges is in Indianapolis with the latest.
We're learning new information about the shooter. According to FedEx, they say that the shooter was a former employee. Now back here at the scene, just over my shoulder, investigators and the FBI continue to comb the area looking for clues to figure out why the shooter opened fire, killing 8 people and injuring several others. This as the country continues to mourn yet another mass shooting.
What we are left with this morning is grief.
For at least the 45th time in the span of a month, a community rocked by a mass shooting.
Grief for the employees who have lost their coworkers, and grief for the many Americans struggling to understand how tragedies like this continue to occur.
At least 8 people are dead and multiple injured after a gunman opened fire at an Indianapolis FedEx facility late Thursday night. The gunman also dead, police say, after taking his own life.
There was no disturbance, there was no argument. He just appeared to randomly start shooting, and that began in the parking lot.
Officials are not yet revealing the identity of the gunman, but sources tell CNN the suspect was known to local and federal authorities.
Many of you have already asked what the motive of this shooting was, and with less than 12 hours since the shooting, it would be premature to speculate.
Families and friends reuniting with the survivors after spending the overnight hours trying to get information about their loved ones, as many employees did not have their cell phones on them while working inside. In Washington, President Joe Biden ordering flags to half-staff as his administration confronts yet another mass shooting.
There is no question that this violence must end, and we are thinking of the families that lost their loved ones.
And speaking to some of those witnesses, they say they are just lucky to be alive. Now again, just over my shoulder, you still see the scene here is still active. We're expecting crews as well as investigators to be here well into the night to try to figure out the overall motive. In Indianapolis, I'm Daryl Forges.
2 people are dead and 2 injured, including a San Antonio police officer after a traffic stop Friday. The San Antonio police chief says the officer made a traffic stop and had what appeared to be a casual conversation with the driver of the truck. But the chief says the driver then shot the officer, striking him in the hand and in the radio. The officer then retreated backwards while shooting into the vehicle. All 3 people in the truck were shot. 2 of them died. The chief says multiple shots were fired from the truck and from the officer. There is body camera footage of the incident, which does not have audio. Police again made headlines today after an Oregon police officer responded to a report of a man in a park with a gun. 1 person is dead after a police-involved shooting this morning in southeast Portland, Oregon. There is no word on what led to the shooting or if there are other victims. According to KJW8, Deputy Chief Chris Davis said in a press conference that, quote, both less lethal and lethal forces were deployed by both officers. No information about the weapon nor the man's name have been released. The White House is drafting a new plan to combat COVID-19 variant strains. That story's still ahead.
Recently, we have been experiencing 50-degree weather. Will that continue? I'll tell you next in my full weather. But first, here's stocks.
Hawaii, a realm of breathtaking beauty. But don't let the scenic calm fool you. Every day in these blue waters, battles unfold. Because this is shark paradise. No matter their size, Hawaii has what these predators need. And this island chain may become home to the biggest shark yet.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow Vintage Las Vegas, Hour 2. There are many more exciting appraisals to revisit from our 2007 trip to Nevada.
It's a wonderful pig. He's a very striking Pantene.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Want to bet which ones have changed in value? Find out next time on Antiques Roadshow Vintage Las Vegas, Hour 2.
Hi, PBS. Happy 50th birthday. You're looking great for your age. Hi, I'm Ricky Skaggs. Happy 50th birthday, PBS.
Dirk Bentley here from Nashville, Tennessee. Just want to give a big shout out to PBS for their 50th birthday. Here's to 50 more. Thank you for all the great programming and the huge influence you've had on my life.
Happy 50th birthday to PBS.
You look beautiful to me. Keep going, PBS.
Coral reefs, beautiful and vulnerable.
It was like a graveyard.
But can science make them stronger?
Can we help them? Can we accelerate natural selection?
We are growing corals to be more resilient.
More climate ready, more climate tolerant.
We can make choices to help our coral reefs to bring them back to life.
Reef Rescue on Nova.
Welcome back, and I'm forecaster Cole Borden. The hour by hour tonight, 53 and becoming increasingly more cloudy, and at 10 p.m., 49 degrees, steady winds, 0 to 5 miles per hour, and at midnight, 45 degrees. It's going to be calm night. The temperatures are going to be low, though, 36 degrees, cloudy, chilly into the a.m., with wind coming from the northwest at 0 to 5 miles per hour. Across the viewing area, 36 in Athens, the hotspot of Ironton 42, Ripley 40, and the rest are in that 30s, 39 in Columbus, and hour by hour for the morning. If you're waking up and want to go on a walk, walking your dog, 8 a.m., 39 degrees, so wear a jacket. High humidity, 92% humidity, and at 10 a.m. it's going to be chilly, 45 degrees, but at noon, 52, the cloudiness will continue the entire day as we could see a passing shower. 58 degrees for Athens tomorrow. It's cloudy all day. All day. We won't see the sun, sadly. It takes me back to when I was in Cleveland all the time. Wind from the north, 0 to 5 miles per hour, and across the viewing area, same story, cloudy. Over on the east, it's going to be some showers, some passing showers, but mainly all in the high 50s. And you could see no severe weather at all, just in the south, but up by Ohio, nothing at all. And this cold front right here, this blue front, passed through our area the other day, bringing those temperatures down from 70s and 80s on Friday to 50s today. And you can see over here, new ones are starting to develop up in Canada, and those could come down to us and bring those temperatures down even more than what we've been experiencing lately. Tomorrow it's going to be 58, cloudy all day, passing shower, and the extended forecast, 7 days, 58 on Saturday, and Sunday a passing shower as well, and the temperatures.
West Virginia's coronavirus vaccination process is slowing down as fewer people come forward to get their shots. Only 2 months ago, demand for vaccine supply sent Republican Governor Jim Justice pleading to the federal government for more doses. Today, Governor Justice reported a vaccine administration rate of 85%, despite West Virginia's promising early start. State data shows that 38.1% of the state's 1.78 million residents have received at least one vaccine dose, and nearly 27% are fully vaccinated. When it comes to COVID-19, nearly half of all infections in the U.S. are caused by a highly contagious virus variant. According to White House officials, the U.S. is now laying out a plan to combat those variants. Mandy Gaither has more in today's Health Minute.
Even as we accelerate our efforts to get shots in arms, more dangerous variants are growing.
As the war against COVID-19 continues, the U.S. is hoping a new effort will help.
Today, we are announcing a $1.7 billion investment to bolster the ability of the CDC and state and local public health departments to monitor, track, and defeat emerging threats.
Right now, officials say highly contagious virus variants account for nearly half of all COVID-19 cases in the U.S., increasing the urgency to identify and track those mutations. Through genomic sequencing, officials aim to do just that.
The increasing trends in cases, hospitalizations, and deaths are very concerning, and they threaten the progress we've already made.
According to the CDC, the U.S.'s 7-day COVID case average is up, nearly 70,000 new cases a day. Hospitalizations are 5 to 8% higher than they were in the prior 7-day period as well. And for a third day in a row, average daily deaths have gone up to more than 700 a day. Relaxed public health measures and virus variants are being blamed for the increases. Some of the variants are believed to be 50 to 70% more transmissible,
which makes the race to stop the transmission even more challenging and threatens to overwhelm our healthcare system again in parts of this country.
By identifying the variants earlier, officials hope to slow the spread. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The U.S. is also funding a system that will make it easier to share and analyze the sequencing data to help public health experts quickly access information about the spread and the mutation of viruses.
Good evening, I'm Jack Demler. With the conclusion of the soccer season, the Ohio soccer team saw some players receive some all-conference honors. I'll let you know who received what honors when Newswatch returns. But first, be sure to stay tuned to WOUB, as here's a look at what's coming up on your public television station.
On Masterpiece.
It was a beautiful day in our life. Everything changed that day.
Hitler wants to make a move northward.
No way. You want to fight the Nazis, but you're telling the Americans you won't.
It's politics.
Europe is on fire, Franklin.
Atlantic Crossing on Masterpiece. Stream now with PBS Passport.
This month in Passport on the PBS Video app, your on-demand library for the best of PBS.
Europe is on fire, Franklin.
Nature is so resilient, and I think that's what inspires me.
It is pretty amazing.
The Black Church has sustained the African-American people from slavery to this day.
We are a testament to the goodness and the grace of God.
These and other shows are available with Passport on the PBS Video app. Download it today. Hawaii, a realm of breathtaking beauty. But don't let the scenic calm fool you. Every day in these blue waters, battles unfold. Because this is shark paradise. No matter their size, Hawaii has what these predators need. And this island chain may become home to the biggest shark yet.
Coral reefs. Beautiful and vulnerable.
It was like a graveyard.
But can science make them stronger?
Can we help them? Can we accelerate natural selection?
We are growing corals to be more resilient.
More climate ready, more climate tolerant.
We can make choices to help our coral reefs to bring them back to life.
Reef Rescue on Nova.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Jack Demler. While the season might not have turned out how the Bobcats imagined, the Ohio soccer team saw 4 players receive all Mid-American Conference awards. Junior defender Morgan Kalika was named First Team All-MAC. This is Kalika's first time being named First Team All-MAC. The Bobcats also saw 3 players make the all-freshman team. Isabel Ganochi, Carson Prigg, and Jay Robertson were all named to the Mid-American Conference all-freshman team. The Ohio field hockey team also saw one of their freshmen receive a conference award. Freshman goalkeeper Macy Lotz was named Mid-American Conference Defensive Player of the Week. This award comes after Lotz helped the Bobcats split their series on the road against Longwood. In both games against Longwood, Lotz did not allow a single goal and tallied a total of 9 total saves and was credited with 1 win. And speaking of field hockey, the Bobcats are back at Pruitt Field where they hosted conference opponent the Kent State Golden Flashes for Game 1 of a 2-game series. That game wrapped up earlier today with the Bobcats falling to the Golden Flashes 3-2. The teams will meet back at Pruitt Field on Saturday to conclude the series. And just down South Schaefer Street, the Ohio softball team was also in action as they hosted Bowling Green Falcons for the start of a 4-game series. After losing the series on the road to conference opponent the Toledo Rockets 3-1, the Bobcats' record fell below 500 to 12-13. Ohio returned home where they looked to get back to 500 on the year with a win today. Game 1 of the 4-game series just wrapped up earlier today as Mackenzie Vaughn walked it off with a solo home run. In extra innings to give the Bobcats the win 4-3. The 2 teams will meet for a Saturday doubleheader followed by a series finale on Sunday. And the Ohio baseball team was also in action this weekend as they opened a 4-game series on the road against the Northern Illinois Huskies. After posting a 4-game series sweep against Eastern Michigan at home, the Bobcats' record is currently 4 games above 500 at 15-11. The Bobcats look to continue their 4-game winning streak on the road. And after a big conference sweep, the one thing Coach Moore is looking for as the Bobcats hit the road is consistency.
Our pitching staff did a great job all weekend long, and we're going to hope that we get the same performance out of those guys as we go to Northern Illinois next week. And then offensively, we just got to continue to grind, continue to get big hits when we need the big hits in those key moments, those game situations. So just trying to be more consistent as we move forward.
The game just wrapped up earlier tonight, but as of 6 o'clock this evening, the Bobcats held a 19-5 lead in the top of the 8th inning, and they went on to win 19-5. And speaking of baseball, teams on the road, the Cleveland Indians take the trip to Great American Ballpark to take on the Cincinnati Reds for Game 1 of baseball's Battle of Ohio. Both teams enter the game with records of 7-5. Logan Allen has the call to start for the Indians, while Jeff Hoffman will take the mound for the Reds. First pitch is scheduled for 7:10 p.m. I'm Jack Demler, and that does it for sports. Back to you, Joe.
Thanks, Jack. Disney's Animal Kingdom is celebrating the circle of life with a new monkey. This baby mandrill named Ivy was born April 10th. She weighs less than 2 pounds. Despite being born so small, mandrills are actually the largest species of monkey. Disney says both Ivy and first-time mom Hazel are healthy and bonding. The infant should start walking in a few weeks.
Thanks, Joe. And tomorrow, 58 degrees, like I said, cloudy all day with a passing shower, winds from the north at 0 to 5 miles per hour, and across the region, 59s and 50s throughout, and bearing technical difficulty. Extended forecast Saturday, 58 and cloudy. We see rain on Sunday, and temps go down to 47 on Wednesday. That at the low might produce some snow, and then it goes back up to 57 and 62, and back to Joe.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Joe Collins. Stay tuned for the PBS News Hour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at woub.org. Have a great night.
Support comes from Snyder, Fuller, and Stroh in Athens, providing retirement planning and